Hey everyone, welcome to AK's Avenue, aka Adrianna's Avenue. It's actually Adrianna's Avenue, but I just said AK's Avenue. Wow, what a start. so, this is my first episode for this podcast. I'm excited. This podcast is about everything mixed with nothing. It's just what I want to talk about, things like that. So it's like I might be talking about story times. I might be talking about different events that's going on in my life, or different things that's going on in the media and stuff like that. But yeah, this is my first video and this is my first podcast. I am recording the video right now. I don't know if I'm going to post this video yet or not, but this is my first episode of Adrianna's Avenue. I keep saying AK's Avenue, but it's Adrianna's Avenue. But I am your host, Adrianna, aka AK since 2000. You can find me on my social media at AK since 2000 on Twitter and on Snapchat. So let's talk about it. So I want to talk about trips, period. All the trips that I've taken over the course of 3 years, or 2.5, because this year isn't done yet. This is 2021. It's all about traveling throughout a pandemic. Traveling throughout a pandemic is a little scary, but at the same time, you have to do things that you think you can handle. Now, I was recently on a trip and we went on a boat ride, and some people didn't have their mask on. People was acting like this is still not a pandemic. A pizzeria, a panorama, a Papa John's, a Polar Express. People still acting like we not in a pandemic. And it's upsetting me and my homegirls, because why you don't have your mask on? Have your mask, people. It is a pandemic. Oh, and if you hear the beep, that is my alarm. It needs new batteries. I don't feel like putting them in, so you're just gonna hear the beep throughout this episode. But I want to talk about my couple of trips over the past couple of years. And for my friends, if you watching and listening to this podcast, just know it is no shade being thrown. I love y'all to death, but we all know what happened on these trips. And we should be past over it anyway. So we good though. We good in the hood. I ain't gonna be talking about nothing too crazy. So we're going to start in 2019. 2019, that's when I graduated. That's when 2019 was that year for everybody. That's when everything was still lit before we knew it was a pandemic finna hit. 2019 was my first traveling. That was the first time I traveled. Not my first traveling, but it's the first time I traveled for real. Like all serious travel, without a tour guide, without anyone like in a group. Like it was just like me by myself. This is my first time traveling alone. I don't recommend traveling alone without an what's those things called? I keep in my mind I'm saying interior or some crazy stuff. But if you don't have like a list of what to do, basically, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I'll probably edit it at the top if I know how to be that savvy. I'm still learning technology. But if you I had it just went away. But if you don't have a list of what you want to do, things like that, I don't suggest traveling alone if you don't have that kind of a plan. I don't suggest traveling to meet people if you don't know they can't give you all of their time. That's one thing. You can't just based on when you get there, it's just going to be when we get there. No. When you're traveling, you want to know at least what is the main thing that you want to do. Because when you realize the main thing that you want to do, you're able to work around it, even if it don't work out your way or not, but you're able to do that one thing you wanted to do when you got there. And my one thing that I wanted to do when I got to New York was go to Times Square and be able to go to the M&M and Hershey factory like I wanted to. And I did, and I enjoyed myself. Y'all, walking to Times Square, I walked 20 minutes to Times Square from a couple blocks from it. And it was kind of cool, you know. I didn't mind walking because I walked all the time throughout high school, and literally I just graduated. So it wasn't a big problem for me. But that walk back, the walk there is fine, but the walk back, no, don't recommend. Yeah, my thing throughout all these trips I'm going to talk about what I learned from these trips. So what I learned from that trip to New York, I learned to not just find out what you're going to do when you get there. Not depend on people's schedules, because people do got lives, people got work, people got school. You know, when you get there, you want to make sure that you can have that one designated day. And I did. One designated day when you could chill with all your friends that you wanted to see. Blah 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 blah. That's the only thing. It's not the only thing. And I should have wrote all of this down, but I'm freestyling it. Not recommendable. Don't freestyle an episode. You trying to do a podcast. It ain't it. But what else would I say? That's why you need to write things down. That trip taught me to not trust Airbnb. Child. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That trip alone made me realize I don't like Airbnbs. I like hotels. I'm not doing Airbnbs. If I do an Airbnb, I have to have the whole entire apartment or house to myself. I cannot. Y'all, I just turned 19 literally the day before I went on that trip. I'm still a baby in the head. I'm still a baby. Yes, I'm legal and I'm old enough to do things, but I still had a childlike mind. I didn't understand. I didn't know. Okay, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know at the same time. I didn't have help or much guidance. I did this trip alone with low amount of money. This is the main purpose of this episode. And I'm giving this example first to let you guys know, don't go on a trip if you broke. And I could pull myself out. I went on a trip broke, but I still had a good time. It's not like you can't have a good time. This is the reasons why you don't go on a trip broke. So let's pause on the stories. This is the main reason why you don't go on a trip broke. Let me get my pen for this, because there's some things that needs to be said. You don't go on a trip broke. Reason number one, because you don't want to go on a trip when you're broke, because if you can't afford to go to another hotel or another place, or you can't afford a room by yourself, you don't need to go. No, you don't need to go. If you can't afford a room on your own or a plan B spot and pay for it, because you might not get your money back right on the spot from one place. You might have to wait 3 to 5 business days or 7 days to get your money back. Or some people might have trouble giving you your money back. If you ain't got enough money to go to another spot, you can't go. That's the main reason. That is one of the main reasons. 2, let's talk about it. 2, don't go on a trip if you broke, because before we talk about number 2, let's put down being bougie. Okay. Everybody is bougie with something in their lives. Now let's talk about being bougie with traveling. I am bougie about where I lay my head at. I am bougie about the places that I eat at when I travel. I don't go to food chain restaurants when I travel. Why? Excuse me, I had to burp a little bit. The reason why I don't go to food chain restaurants while on a trip is because I can go when I'm home. I can eat that food, that same food. I can eat it at home. HOME, in my hometown, my city. I could eat that at home. It's down the street. I've seen it. I know it. I know what's on the menu from back to front. I know I could eat that at home. Come on, people. You can eat that junk at home. You don't need to travel to go to same. You ain't gotta go. You don't have to go to Chili's when you go to New York. Why? New York is a place with different restaurants all over. Why you gotta go to Chili's? Because I know it. So they got chicken tenders and french fries anywhere else. And I hate when people order chicken tenders and french fries. Let's talk about it. For those picky eaters, sweetie, I am a picky eater myself, but I am not that much of a picky eater. Why do you order chicken tenders and french fries everywhere you go? My sister literally told me when she went to my cousin's baby shower one time, the baby daddy and his friends ordered chicken tenders and fries. But this is where it gets confusing. They ordered chicken tenders and french fries. Guess what, y'all? Guess. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to guess. Guess. They ordered chicken tenders and french fries at Hibachi. Hibachi! They ordered chicken tenders and french fries at Hibachi. Hibachi. You couldn't get you some fried rice, some shrimp. You had to order chicken. They cooked the food in front of you, and you order chicken tenders and french fries. This is not a make-believe story. I was on FaceTime with her that day. Trust me. I know. But let's talk about that same example, right? This is the reason why you don't want to travel, especially because let's talk about food. You don't want to travel while broke, because then you're going to end up being dependent on other people to pay for you when they don't want to or not obligated to. And people be like, y'all chose the place. No, sweetie, you knew what was on this itinerary. That's the word. Itinerary. You knew what was on this itinerary. That's why we made an itinerary before we went on this trip, so you could prepare and you could get your money up to know. If you know you can't afford to do what we're doing, just say, I'm not going. Especially if we're making an itinerary together. That's why you make a budget when you plan to travel. That's why when you go to certain trips, you know you either go into an all-inclusive or you go into a place where you might have to go find your own breakfast, you find your own lunch, find your own dinner. But if you travel to out of these countries, I never travel with anyone outside of the country other than my mom. But when I do, I am not bringing nobody I have to have drama with. I'm practicing in the States. If nobody acting right in the States, I'm not bringing y'all to out of the country. That's not happening. But yeah. So back to New York. So, no. Let's finish the reasons. Because food-wise, boom, food. People like to be cheap with food. I'm not going to no food chain. And people always assume people got to go to a 5-star. Sweetie, do it look like I want to pay $50, $70 for a bird with no meat, no rice, no sides? No. I'm going to get somewhere nice, but I still could be, full. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm not on $1,000 plate budget. No, 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 no. But I do know I could pay $30. I could pay $40 for a plate of food and some drinks. I know I could do that. I know I could do that. I know I could do that. If you can't do that, you can't come with me. You can't come with me. If you can't do that, no ma'am. Mm-mm. And that's not judging. But it's plenty of things on menus that you can get away with to not pay that much money for food. For real. It's like, that's why we look at the menus before we go. And you can find out what you can, you cannot do. But I will not go to a food chain. I know that. I will not go to Olive Garden. Fake Italian food? No, ma'am. Italian food is not that expensive. If you go to an Italian restaurant, trust me, I eat nice all the time, y'all. I'm bougie when I eat. I can find cheap Italian food that is nice. A plate of spaghetti could be $12 to $15, depending on where you go and how much meat you get. You don't got that, then you can't come with me. But yeah. So, back to New York. No, I'm not done. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. Bear with me. That's why I need a list. So, another reason is when we do, what is it called? Contractions, little fun stuff. Don't be crying. I'm not. This is why you can't travel with broke people, because you can't afford to do the fun things. Especially in certain cities. In certain cities and certain places, you cannot go for free. Even museums aren't for free. They're not. Unless you go on a certain day. But if you're on a weekend trip, those are not the days that you can go for free. Where are you going to go? I'm not sitting outside with nobody. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. And if you know okay, this is a solution for broke people and you still want to go have a good time. When you know, especially if people are making an itinerary, you know Saturday and Sunday finna be the littest days. Cut the days down. You know Saturday and Sunday finna be lit, but they finna be there from Monday to Sunday. And you can afford certain amount of things. Don't go on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They not finna do nothing too crazy. You know, some nice, but not too crazy, because everything on the weekend. You come on Friday. Break it up. Break it up. Yeah. Break it up. Break it up. Come on. Be smart about it. Or don't come at a certain time. Right? Yeah. Do that. Because if you don't, this is the reason. It makes other people uncomfortable to know that so-and-so don't got the funds. But we do. But we don't want to leave them out. But then one of us, either one of us gonna pay for them, or all of us have to pitch in our money to do it. That is aggravating. That is aggravating. That is very aggravating. It is. This is why I don't like traveling. This is the reason why I don't like traveling with a big group. I don't like traveling with a big group because the bigger the group, the more people, the people don't think. The bigger the group, the more people want to try to squish people in a bed. Now, this might be for everybody. It's not for everybody. But I'm going to talk about my couple of groups and my friends' experiences. Now, I'm not a skinny girl. never will be a skinny girl unless I work on it. Right now, I'm working, but I ain't that working. I'm a big girl, and I'm proud. I'm proud about it. I know my size. I know my limit. I'm not sharing a bed with 2, 3 people. I'm not sharing a bed with 3, 4 people. I'm not spending $40. I'm not spending $70 on a room, and I gotta sleep on the foot of the bed or a couch bed. Let's talk about it. I'm not pitching in $30 for the room to sleep on the floor. I'm not putting in $50 for the room to sleep in the middle. I'm not putting in $40, $50 to sleep in the tub. I'm not putting in $50 to sleep on a balcony. I'm not putting in that money to sleep on the floor. No. That's why I say if you can't afford to buy your own room, you can't go. I can only share a bed with one person if I want to. But if I don't want to, I'm buying my own room. That's just me. And I'm just like, because people want to be like, oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to buy my own room. And nobody better come. Nobody better come. Oh, and let's talk about room arrangements. Yes. When we in a big group and y'all want to bring in friends, probably friends from in the city that you were visiting from, or y'all meet some people, y'all chilling. Don't nobody better sit on my bed. Don't you sit on my bed. I don't like when people sit on my bed. That's just disrespectful. Or get in my bed. Oh, people are trifling, y'all. Somebody one time when I was on this trip in high school, it was girl that literally tried to get in my bed. I said, no ma'am. This is not that type of party. No ma'am. For one, I don't like it when people invite people to my room. I don't. I really don't. I honestly don't. Hated it as a child because my sisters and them always was fast and they always invited people or everybody to the room. And it's like, and then cousins want to be cheap and put all their kids in the room my daddy bought when they could have let their kids sleep with them. Oh, let's put all the kids together. Are you paying for this room? Last time I checked, my daddy paid. Not y'all. Not y'all. Now I gotta sleep on the floor because your funky daughter want to sit here and pee in the bed. Now I gotta lay on the floor because your fast daughter want to have boys in the bed. Y'all, I'm sorry I'm talking about this, but this is my life. This was me as a child, y'all. People was trifling. Family is trifling, y'all. That's one thing. I will not share a room with none of one of my cousins ever in my life again because I dealt with it for like 6 to 10 years. No, ma'am. No, I'm too big for this. No. And people like to be stingy with covers. My sister's one of them. No. Sorry, y'all, but this is me freestyling, and this is the story of my life. But yeah, that room arrangements is very important for me. I am bougie in room arrangements. I'm bougie with my hotel. I'm bougie where I'm laying my head at. Like, no, not sleeping in anything. I'm not sleeping in no Best Western. Best Western is my safe hotel if I'm traveling the road on the dark and we have to stop. And I don't feel like going to no big fancy hotel because I'm stopping for like a couple hours to lay my head at. That's the only place I would settle for is Best Western because they're really nice and they're clean. But I'm not going to no Red Roof. I'm definitely not going to no Suffer Eight. And I'm definitely in Florida. Y'all, it's a lot of these in Florida. On those crazy cities that you don't know about. And they got these, if you see a pink hotel or a blue hotel, don't go to it. Definitely not one of those. Definitely not one of those in those small towns and cities in Florida. Please don't go to them. Ghetto. Ghetto to the flow. Ghetto. Ghetto. No. 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 Did it as a child? No. Cut it out. Cut it out. So this is the time, 2020. That was my year of being bougie. What I'm starting to learn that I'm starting to become bougie. And I loved it. That year, I should play some cool music. That year was just that year. You know what I'm saying? That year made me realize, okay, I am kind of bougie. Okay. And I'm proud about it. That's when I started hanging out with different kind of friends. Some of my friends invited me on a trip with them. I ain't had to pay to stay at the hotel or whatever. Nothing. I appreciate that trip. That trip brought me to understand and clearly see what sleeping in a hotel is like instead of a room. We had a view of the city and the beach. We was right next to the beach. The room was bougie. Glass doors. It wasn't a tub in sight. Let's talk about it. That hotel was amazing. The bed was so soft and comfortable. It was amazing. That trip taught me about sleeping arrangements. That trip taught me to plan your eating arrangements. It did. Instead of finding things at the last minute, prepare, everyone. Prepare. Make reservations. Because you can make reservations because you can't find a restaurant. And you will go to a nasty restaurant, even though they're bougie to the T. They bougie, but their food is nasty. The food is pretty, but the food is nasty. That trip taught me about food arrangements. That's why I'm bougie with my food. It's kind of not too bougie at the same time. I'm a cute picture food taker. I can't have too fancy because too fancy don't taste good. Take me to the hole in the wall spot when it comes to that. But when it comes to my breakfast food, my lunch food, and the majority of my dinner, don't play with it. But especially my breakfast. If my waffles ain't waffling, my pancakes ain't fluffy, I'm out of there. No. So this recent trip taught me literally about food. I just came back home from a trip. This is the reason why I made this podcast episode and started my podcast. Because of this trip. This trip was a nice trip. But the food was not it. This is why I'm talking about food chains. I should not be on a trip and have to hear a person talk about McDonald's for every single meal that we eat. Oh, I need my pen back. Yes, I experienced somebody talk about McDonald's and suggested McDonald's all day long. Yes, I did. Let's talk about it. Yo, when I tell you I was pissed off, McDonald's. Baby, I would have been all right if you just said Chili's. I wouldn't have been too mad. But McDonald's, we could just go to McDonald's to get something. McDonald's? When you think about it, you order a lot of food. You order a meal. You spending $10. Plus the drink, $12. With tax, probably $13. That same $13 could have went to a full-blown meal that's nice, and you could sit down and enjoy your meal at a local restaurant that's not a food chain. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I heard the name McDonald's so much, it made me not want to go to McDonald's. And the fact that we went to McDonald's that morning, I don't mind going to McDonald's before the trip. You know what I'm saying? Going to McDonald's to get a little quick breakfast sandwich. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you talking about let's go back to McDonald's for lunch. We on the boat. We in the middle of the water. What we gonna go to a McDonald's when we at the beach? Ain't no McDonald's at the beach. In Florida, where is a gas station near the beach? Where is McDonald's? Y'all, this morning, I suggested IHOP. I know. I suggested IHOP but my mom screamed IHOP so fast, I was going to name some other places and try to look some up. But my mom agreed on IHOP too fast because the person that we was traveling with, the group of people that we was traveling with was broke. Yeah, my dog. Oh, I almost said a gender out loud. I don't want to expose nobody. Yeah, so-and-so likes IHOP. They love IHOP. Of course they do. Of course they do. Everybody love IHOP. Of course they do. Yes. They said IHOP, y'all. Can you believe it? Yes. IHOP. Oh. But we went. And how convenient. It was around the corner. But this IHOP, y'all know, when you live in a black community, you know how you avoid certain IHOPs. Come on now. IHOP is like Waffle House. You know you avoid certain IHOPs because everybody go to that IHOP all the time, and especially on certain days. If you talking about a Saturday night, it's packed. Talk about a Sunday morning, it's packed. IHOP. That was that one. IHOP. IHOP was packed, y'all. Packed to the T. Had lines waiting. We was second on the list. And my mom was like, let's go outside. Now, this is the second time this trip somebody said, let's go outside and wait. Or we waited outside. Now, it is Florida. We was in Fort Lauderdale, y'all. We do live in Florida, but we was in Fort Lauderdale. Yes, Fort Lauderdale. 45 minutes away from Miami. We was right there. And everybody know, when you see certain parts of Florida, you know where you at. We was in the hood. Y'all, I was so done with hearing let's wait, because I heard it all day yesterday, and I'm hearing it again. And I'm hungry this time. Hungrier. And I'm hot again. And y'all, this is the second time y'all put me in a predicament where I'm hot. We waited outside. We could just wait. It's okay. I'm not okay. Do y'all know? You think about me? I'm not. I'm hot and I'm hungry. And these good folks don't look like they finna leave anytime soon. And then, y'all, guess how long it took for us to get seated? 15, 20 minutes. That might not seem like it's a long time. But when you hot and hungry, that's a long time. Yes, I waited 20 minutes. But then when we get seated, guess how long it took for us to order? Let's talk about it. Yes, that is my word. That is my phrase. Let's talk about it. I'm going to use it all the time. Let's talk about it. If I can name this podcast, let's talk about it, I would. But it's already some podcast name. Let's talk about it. So this is my catchphrase. Let's talk about it. We waited. How long we waited? a good 5 minutes to get the juice, to get the drinks. Then we waited a good 15 to order the food. But guess how long it took for us to get the food? It took us almost an hour. More than 30 minutes. We left the hotel at 10:05. We got the food at like 11:45, 11:50. We left at 12:02. We spent 2 hours at a restaurant and ate the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes. We took that much time to eat our food. If the math not mathing for you, it's mathing for me in my head. Please be mindful, okay? But we waited a long time and only ate for a couple of minutes. You think I want to do that again? No, because you know why? And before we went to go, she was like, no, she could eat, but I might just go get me some McDonald's. Not in my car. Say McDonald's again. Say McDonald's again. I was disgusted. I was aggravated. It's plenty more what happened on that trip. But I'm not going to talk about people like that. That's disrespectful. And that's why I had to do this podcast over and over again, because I felt like I was oversharing and I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So this is the best way I could do it. And it took a camera to get in my face to be mindful of what I say. But yeah, that's the episode. Do I want to talk about more things? That's the main chunk of the episode. Do I want to do an hour podcast? I'm not sure. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to try for another episode? I think this is good. I don't got that much to talk about. I think, the next episode I'm going to be more prepared. Have things written down, different little topics I want to talk about. Possibly like some songs or stuff that I want to put out there. But this is my first episode, so be mindful. This is my first time. I don't know how to do this. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope it was fun enough, entertaining enough for you guys. Shout out to Anchor for helping me put this podcast out, and YouTube. It's not sponsored at all, but I just wanted to shout them out to be nice. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my name is Adrianna. AK since 2000 is my socials. AK is the capital A, capital K, capital SINCE 2000_. That is my social media. And yeah, I'm still going to debate whether or not if I want to put this out on YouTube or whatnot. But thanks for coming. If you're on YouTube, thanks for watching if I post it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself a little bit talking about it. All of those trips. I didn't talk about a lot of trips, but all of those trips, I did learn something from it. And starting to travel more is allowing me to see what do I like. And think about, if you have bad trip experiences, take the time to talk about it, because it could be cool content. And think about it in a way to learn from it. I'm learning from my the states wise trips. I haven't been out the country yet. For real. I've been to Canada, but not too long to be like, oh, Canada. But I haven't taken trips outside of the country with friends yet. But I know when I do, I'm selecting a couple of people that I know I could bear with. But if not, you're keeping it in the States, or you're not coming with me at all. But yeah, this is the episode, y'all. I holla. Oh, that was so embarrassing. But bye.